What a happy place, happy place. Oh, Jeffy, mega, 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 mega. You want some shopping, no, me, nigga, 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 nigga. You could be shopping around in Russia. Get that to everyone. What a happy place, happy place. Oh, what a happy place. But just stick some more any item and you automatically qualify for discounts. Check us out at the Mega Store in Holy West. Lots of parking on Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And on Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. JP Mega, the best family shopping experience. Jolly's Pharmacy is bringing vibes to health with Health Vibes. Health Vibes. Each and every Wednesday from 10 to 11:30 a.m. with your hosts Trudy Kristen and co-hosts pharmacists Jacinta Fagan and Leona Jeremiah. Education, information, and a bit of humor, and not forgetting lots of vibes. Jolly's Pharmacy is bringing health and vibes together with Health Vibes. So be sure to tune in each and every Wednesday on Q95 from 10 to 11:30 a.m. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to another episode of Health Vibes, the health talk show that always delivers to you health information, but with a little vibes. My name is Trudy Christian. Joining me this morning in studio is Jacinta. Jacinta, good morning to you.
Good morning to you. I thought you were going to sing for the good. Good morning to our listening audience and those viewers viewing online. How are you doing today? Recovering?
Good, yeah, good. I think I've recovered. Jacinta, what about you?
Well, there wasn't much for me to recover from. I only went
Okay.
on Saturday and I did enjoy myself. So I am not, feeling very fatigued or anything. Thank God for that.
Okay. And hopefully our listeners took heed of our tips that we gave last week, Wednesday.
Yes, I hope so.
Right, for the festival season. So I hope nobody was drunk out of their minds and nobody forgot their medication.
Okay, and still took it on time.
Right. I do hope that our tips last week helped you through the Curl Festival, World Curl Music Festival weekend, and they also have you primed those same tips for this weekend, which of course is another holiday weekend, Creole Day on Friday,
Right.
and then of course Independence Day on Monday.
Yes.
So we're approaching another festive weekend.
Definitely.
Here in Dominica, festive time. It's a little quiet today.
Yes,
but I'm sure as the weekend approaches, things will start to pick back up. I do know too that a lot of our visitors, both Dominicans and foreigners who visited for the festival, have started to return home. I see quite a few people heading back sorrowfully. I know that the sentiment is that people enjoyed their time in Dominica for the World Curl Music Festival. So I see people at the ferry terminal going back this morning, and I saw that yesterday as well. And they look sad. So I'll invite you all, if you're listening, to come back to Dominica. It's never too soon to return to the Nature Isle. So if you want to do so for Christmas, for Carnival, book those tickets early and come back.
And of course, we had our Welcome Dominica Welcome Home Market, I should say, last week, Friday, and it was a success. Many locals and those who visited were able to get some of our local products, and I'm sure that they were very thankful, for this opportunity. We also want to keep in mind and in our prayers Jamaica. Some of us may have relatives, loved ones, friends, and if you are following Hurricane Melissa, you know that it is a very, very powerful and destructive hurricane. We all remember what we went through with Hurricane Maria, and so we want to keep them in our prayers.
And not only, Jamaica was hit throughout yesterday by the hurricane. Now the track will take it to Cuba next, and maybe afterwards the Bahamas, and of course impacts to be felt in Haiti and the Dominican Republic. So our prayers and of course our intent to assist as we can to the countries impacted by Hurricane Melissa. Those of us who lived through Hurricane Maria are aware of the trials and tribulations that happen after the storm has passed. That's when the suffering really, when you don't have utilities, you don't have certain things. That's when there's a lot of struggle. So our prayers to those impacted and those, in the path of Hurricane Melissa. So this morning we have a guest in studio. This is a special guest. The last time he was on the program, he was virtually present. This time he's present in the flesh. So to our listeners on the Facebook page of Q95 FM and the YouTube channel of Q95 FM, you can already see who our guest is. For those of you on radio, you don't know yet, but when we come back after a short break, you will find out. But it may be a good time for you to hop on the social media platforms of Q95 to view the show live. And so you can get advance notice about who is this guest that has been on the show before and is back with us in studio this morning. Who is this person? We're going to keep the suspense up. Make sure you stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Nice.
Yeah, Dr. Ricky, with Health Vibes. Each and every Wednesday from 10 to 11:30 a.m. with your host, Trudy Kristen, and co-host pharmacist Jacinta Fagan and Leona Jeremiah. Education, information, and a bit of humor, and not forgetting lots of vibes. Jolly's Pharmacy is bringing health and vibes together with Health Vibes. So be sure to tune in each and every Wednesday on Q95 from 10 to 11:30 a.m. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare. Oh, and if they say convenience make a big difference, then you can trust me. I know just where you should be. That is JP Mega. The one-stop shopping Dominica, nigga. You could be shopping and having fun. If you got to with your social, get that to everyone. What a happy place. Oh, JP Mega. The one-stop shopping Dominica, nigga. You could be shopping and having fun. Get that to everyone. What a happy place. Oh, what a happy place. But just stick some more any item and you automatically qualify for discounts. Check us out at the Mega Store in Fongole where there's lots of parking on Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. JP Mega, the best family shopping experience.
We got this morning feeling risky. I had the patience to call in sick, but I end up in Jolly's Pharmacy. And don't think I treat a list fix up my immune system. Me feeling fit and strong now. I'm ready to work like it's on any mission. If you see me again, Jolly's Pharmacy is number one. Jolly's fucking. We can't have everyone. Jolly's fucking. It's the immune system. Jolly's fucking. Yo, Dominic, it's about Father Box. Whenever I'm in town and I'm feeling down, I head to Jolly's Pharmacy. They boost me up real quick. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare. Introducing Jolly's Pharmacy, brand new website, www.jollys.gm. It's your time to jump the line. Shop now at jollys.gm and have your items delivered in the comfort of your office. No more standing in line. No need to use your lunch hour to shop. Hassle-free shopping, safe and secure. Jollys.gm features rush delivery, 1 hour. In-store pickup, regular delivery, 5 p.m. Cut-off time, 4 p.m. It's your time to jump the line. Visit us at www.jollys.gm. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare. I had the patience to call in sick, but I end up in Jolly's Pharmacy. And don't think I treat Jolly's fix up my immune system. Me feeling fit and strong now. I'm ready to work like any mission. If you see me again, Jolly's Pharmacy is number one. Jolly's fucking. We can't have everyone. Jolly's fucking. The immune system. Jolly's fucking. Yo, Dominic, it's about Father Box. Whenever I'm in town and I'm feeling down, I head to Jolly's Pharmacy. They boost me up real quick. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
And we are back. Of course, you're tuned in to Jolly's Health Vibes here on a Wednesday, where we always join you and bring you health information with vibes. And we have a guest this morning. I teased before the break that our guest has been on before. And the last time he was on, sometime in March, he was a virtual guest. But now he's here in Dominica and he's in studio and he is with us in the flesh. Our guest this morning, Dr. Rick, veterinarian by profession, and so much more, and a health vibes regular, I would say. Dr. Rick, good morning to you.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
I see the energy and everything is on, and you are kicking for this program this morning. So I love that. I am very happy that you're on, and that you've always been willing and ready to come on the program.
Ready.
Yes, Dr. Rick. So much is happening, and oftentimes so much is happening in terms of health, but oftentimes there is an aspect of health that we exclude when we do health education, and that is the aspect of disease transmission from animals to humans. There are quite a few diseases that can be transferred or transmitted from an animal to a human being. And I know some of them are of particular concern to you as a vet, and some of them are of particular concern to our public health system. So we want to start the ball rolling this morning by, I think first just putting it out to you. What is the biggest concern that you have right now in that category of diseases that we can get from animals?
Well, we have many.
Mhm.
The first one I want to talk about is leptospirosis. It's a bacteria. You can look it up on the internet. You read about it. It's simple. But the biggest problem with lepto is that it doesn't show early. And when you see signs, you're about dead. Have kidney failure, you have a problem with liver, problem with lungs. And it's easy to treat with doxycycline.
Mhm.
It's a hygiene issue. It's an issue of rats. And we have rats and mice all over Dominica.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to talk about it because they think it's horrible. They think if they put out a little poison, it's going to take care of it. I think if they had a cat or two, it's going to take care of it. One of the biggest problems we have is people put out poison and the rats get a hold of the poison. Then they have a dog on a chain outside and the rat comes by half dead and the dog grabs it, squeezes the rat urinates on the dog or urinates in the area, and the dog gets it. Why? Because the dog's not vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
We beg people. I've been going back and forth. I'm Dominican by descent. And I've been going back and forth for 43 years to the United States, to Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I come back, and I'm here full time now, over 13 years. And, I beg people to vaccinate their dogs and their cats. And they look at me like
Why?
why?
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to claim ownership of their animals. They worry about what they're feeding their animals. They don't worry about that they're full of worms. They don't worry about that they're covered with fleas. They don't worry about they're covered with ticks. And then they don't worry about the fact that you have to wash vegetables, wash fruit. Rats are everywhere. And everybody says, don't say that. We want people to come down. They're on all lands, everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea is control. And we have to be really, really, I can tell stories. A couple of years ago, a family sent a boy on a bicycle with a puppy in a backpack. It was probably 3 or 4 months old. The puppy was yellow, jaundice, and lepto was dying. And the whole family had been playing with everything. I took it back to the family. Said, either you treat the dog or you have to do away with it. But all of the people that have been around the dog have to go on doxycycline.
Mm-hmm. You have to be treated properly. Yeah.
And people need to understand. They say, this is Nature Island. I heal myself. Yes, some people do heal spontaneously, but 10% die, up to 10%. I watched a boy in the health center several years ago die of leptos. Dr. Alpott's brother, Ricky Alpott, a dear friend of mine, was director of agriculture. He died right before I came back. One of my buds. So just because you don't hear it on the news doesn't mean it's not happening. And many times it's masked by, maybe they'll have 2 or 3 things going on. You won't even know that they've had lepto. Or they go overseas to get treated. So they go to the French Islands and get treated. So we lose the statistics. You have to excuse me. I have a speech impediment. I had a stroke last year and I was paralyzed and I'm recovering. So everybody bear with me.
We will. But Doc, I have a question. So you mentioned about the importance of vaccination of our pets, home pets.
All dogs should be vaccinated once a year.
I was about to ask how
In the vaccine, there are multiple things that we vaccinate for: distemper, hepatitis, parvo, parainfluenza, corona. But there's lepto in there.
Okay.
If you vaccinate your dog for lepto, you're protecting your children and yourself.
Right.
There's no excuse for somebody getting lepto from their dog that's not vaccinated. And people think it's funny. It's not funny.
No.
Spend the $50, get the dog vaccinated every year, not once when it's a puppy.
So what about families who not only have dogs, have cats, or have other animals? Is it the same once a year vaccination? Is it different?
And we have vaccine for cats, and people refuse to vaccinate cats. Now, we don't see lepto in cats because cats are very particular. Cats won't go after a slow rat or slow mouse.
Right.
They know there's something wrong. Dogs don't wait; they grab it. That's the difference between the two.
Okay.
So, but we have other things that we vaccinate the cats for. Feline leukemia and parvo and so forth in cats. But dogs and cats should be vaccinated, definitely. They should be defleed and de-ticked. Because if you allow those fleas and ticks, what happens? The ticks fall off. Every tick has 700 eggs in it. Those ticks can get on us, get on other animals, and they carry all kinds of other diseases. So that's a whole. Now that we could talk for 2 hours on tick-borne disease.
I wanted to ask the Dr. Rick. I mean, I know of Lyme disease, which is a tick-borne disease.
Right.
Is Lyme disease present locally?
We don't really test for it. We don't really see it. It could be here.
Okay.
We have anaplasmosis, babesia, Rocky Mountain spotted fever. We have a number. There are a whole bunch of them. Why? Because animals have been brought in from the United States, from Canada, from Europe, and they bring those diseases with us. The old business of, I have a Gadiwas, I have an old local dog, I don't have to vaccinate, that's gone. We don't have local dogs anymore, just because they look local. Most of the little dogs that are bobtailed maybe had a pit bull grandparent or something like that. And once they've been exposed to other populations that have come in from overseas, you always have the chance of picking things up.
Okay. So there is a possibility,
Right.
for tick-borne diseases like Lyme
More
disease.
than possibility, it happens all the time.
Okay.
The different dog shampoos or cat shampoos that claim to fight against ticks and fleas, are those sufficient
No,
enough? Okay.
you can take a dog or a cat and dunk it in fresh water or salt water, and you'll drown the fleas. But you're going to have new eggs hatching out in 12 hours. So just shampooing and using over-the-counter stuff is not enough. You have to make sure that you use veterinary-approved products. And the other problem is people use pesticides, chemicals like Seven Dust and so forth, malathion on animals, and that's not for them. That's
It's
poison.
dangerous. It's poisonous. Yes.
Because people think it's cheap. We'll put it on my dog and see and then the dog ends up with a burn mark on their back, or they get sick, or they go into seizures, all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
The best thing is to use veterinarians, but most people want things for free. I get calls all the time. They want to send me pictures and tell them what to do for their animal. they don't want to pay for anything, and it's sad.
But I understand why many people, I'm a dog lover, you know that. And for those of us who are not aware that the shampoos are not enough, I think they'd be grateful for your information right now. Because when you pick up those options in the store, you would see, fighting against ticks and fleas, and you think, I shampoo, I bathe my dogs once a week, and that should suffice. But you're at least clearing up the air, that it's not sufficient.
No,
No. Okay.
and buying cheap products doesn't make it work. The animals, only live a few years, so that's another problem. People don't worry. I'll just get a new animal, like a new dog or a new cat, because I'm not really that attached to it. I just have the dog on a chain. It barks for me. Blah blah blah. The animals are full of worms, fleas, ticks, and then of course they can get lepto from the urine from the rats. I went to one of my wife's friends to her house, and she said something wrong with my dog. And as I was there, I saw a rat run by. I said, we have to put your dog on doxycycline, amoxicillin. We have to deworm it and deflea and tick it. Because the biggest problem is you don't see clinical signs until it's too late.
Right.
So you have to be diligent with your animals if you want to keep them as pets for a while. I have some clients that have cats and dogs here in Dominica for 10, 15, 20 years. Other people don't have a dog or cat more than 3 years because they don't neuter and spay their animals, and they don't take care of them.
Dr. Rick, I wanted to go into some other, risks we've been mentioning the two most common pets, dogs and cats. I do know, of course, that people keep other animals as pets, but dogs and cats are the most popular options. If your dog is sick with some maybe gastrointestinal, like you see certain symptoms from the dog, like it's throwing up maybe or something, or it has diarrhea, what are there diseases that can be transmitted to the human being from some of these I would say gastrointestinal sort of symptoms that the pet may experience?
Of course. A dog and a cat have a simple stomach, like a pig, like a human. Goats, sheep, cows, they have a multi stomach, 4 parts of the stomach.
Right.
Their conditions are usually different, parasites and so forth.
Okay.
All right. So you have close proximity of pigs, dogs, cats. And on other islands, they have monkeys too. So that's just the same as a pig. And so if they have GI problems, you have bacteria. Well, they have the same bacteria bother us.
Okay.
So if you're cleaning up your dog's mess, make sure you wear gloves.
Right, of course.
Make sure your dog is dewormed properly. I don't mean once a year. I mean regularly. When you first get a puppy, you vaccinate it 3 times, 3 weeks apart. You deworm it every 2 weeks, 3 or 4 times. Then you may, wait a month or so. You have to make sure the area that they're in is clean. Otherwise, they're going to reinfect themselves. Same thing with the cats, because they groom themselves, they clean themselves. And so when they swallow fleas, for example, fleas carry the tapeworms, so they cycle the tapeworms flow. If you get rid of the fleas, you get rid of the tapeworm problem after you deworm from tapeworms. So, but again, to answer your question, of course, when the animals are sick, they throw up or they defecate, the bacteria is contagious to humans, of course. Absolutely.
So that and that now, let me segue into people thinking then that it's not right to have pets in your sleeping space, living space, and that's a topic that often causes arguments, because some people keep their dogs at home inside. Some people say that the dogs should only be kept outside, and citing maybe disease transmission as the reason why. So just to kind of get a little discussion, Dr. Rick, what's the vet's take on the location of the pet and the safety for the human
If you
owner.
have animals in the house,
Mhm.
you better have your house air conditioned, first of all.
Yeah,
If you just have
Air
fans or not,
conditioned.
if you have fans or whatever, it doesn't not good enough. It has to be cool. That's number one.
Mhm.
Number two, they have to be free of fleas and ticks,
Mhm.
and they have to be bathed at least once a week.
Okay.
And their hair has to be trimmed. They need to have long hair all over the place. It's a mess.
Mhm.
Then they've got to be vaccinated once a year.
Okay.
And if they're going to be in the bed with you or close to you in proximity, you're always going to run the risk of having sickness.
Mhm. Okay. I see we have someone trying to call. Let's pause to take a call. Yes, caller, good morning.
Good morning, Judy.
Hi, good
And
morning.
everybody that's very few.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
I will I will answer on that one because I've been waiting for that question. I always tell people, I don't know if it's me, but I would never have an animal inside of my house. Neither cat, neither dog. Sitting on where you sitting, lying on where you sitting. Oh my God. Those are for outside. I don't want them. I don't deal with them. I don't want them. I don't put them in my area because I don't like them. But I find if you are living in the big country like America and whatever, yes, sometimes you don't have a yard or what. You have a place in your house, you can have them, yes. But in Dominica, inside of your house, sitting, sleeping, lying no boy. I find that, I don't know, I call that antagonist, I'll call it a big name, but I don't want to say it on the radio.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Thank you, caller. Well, you see that's
Is their own.
I know it's a topic that the people have different opinions on. But
Yes.
just to reiterate, Dr. Rick did say that if you are keeping the pet in the home, there are certain conditions that you
Right.
should ensure that it's a cool environment. Air conditioned is preferred. Yes, Dr. Rick,
Bathe
you said the
frequently.
animal should be bathed frequently, at least once a week. You mentioned. The hair should be trimmed. The animal should be dewormed and, of course, vaccinated, as you have reinforced already on the program. So there are just certain things that you need to follow to make the location of the animal suitable if it's inside. Mhm.
Dr. Rick, I have a concern. So very often we have customers coming into Jolly's pharmacy asking for dewormers for animals. Now we do have what you call Zentel or albendazole. And very often they say, can I have a Zentel for my dog or for my cat? And I always tell them it is advisable to go to your vet to seek appropriate dewormers for your animals because animals are different. You have different weight, breed, and so forth. But some still insist on taking human dewormers. So please, I would like you to inform and educate our listeners of the correct dewormers and the means to do so.
Yeah, go to your veterinarians. I mean, you should not be dispensing any products for animals at the pharmacy, period. And, I have no control over that. You make a decision at the pharmacy what you're going to dispense. But if you're asking me, no, they should go to the veterinarian because what happens if they use whatever they get at the pharmacy and they give the wrong doses,
Right.
then
That's
the
what I see.
animals, the parasites develop a resistance,
Mhm.
and then the dewormers don't work anymore. So that's a big problem we have. Or people come into you, the veterinarian, and say, "Oh, I've dewormed my animal. I vaccinated my animal. I went to feed store, got vaccine. I went to wherever and got dewormer, and now something's wrong with it. Well, take care of my animal." And my response is, "You didn't come to me first or another veterinarian. You're asking me to take care of your animal after you've done God knows what. And if something happens to your animal, that's my fault. I have a big problem with that. After doing this and being involved in the veterinary profession since I was a young person, over 50 years, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of people calling me up and saying, I dewormed, I did this, I did that. Now tell me what to do. Go to your veterinarian. We have veterinarians here, and don't tell me that we don't.
We do.
Mhm.
So, just to be clear, do not come over the counter to ask for dewormers for your animal. Please go to your vet to get the proper dewormers.
Yes, that is the advice of the vet. I do see that we had some calls coming in. Let me just give the numbers. I'd like this to be interactive. Of course, Dr. Rick is always here to inform and educate. So we would like our audience to be able to interact with him. Our number is 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097, and 616-4257. Of course, if you'd like to reach us from the overseas, an overseas location, the number for you is 305-432-9624. So if you're trying to get us and you were not successful, you can try again. I see we have a caller on the line. Caller, good morning to you.
Hello, morning, Judy and Jacinta and
Hi,
Dr. Rick.
Morning.
Judy, when you said about you expecting somebody, my mind, I said either Dr. Rick or Dr. Adrian, because you said they spoke, but we never saw them. So my mind went on these two.
Mhm.
Now, a question I wanted to ask Dr. Rick, the last time when he was here, Judy, I just want to go there. He said, well, he spoke about leptospirosis that time. He said we should not eat fruits out of the ground because urine can from the rat or an animal can penetrate the fruit. But what I wanted to ask him, so if, say, for example, a fruit, a mango, falls on the ground, you just should not pick it up at all or any other fruit. Or can you pick it up and wash it? Thank you.
Thank you, caller. And Dr. Rick, this is one of our regulars. You see, she knows our programs because she listens regularly. So she remembers when you were last on, and there was this discussion about the fruits and the risk factor associated with that leptospirosis. So Dr. Rick, let our audience know your take.
Rats and mice can climb trees. So
Mhm.
it doesn't matter if the fruit's hanging or if it's on the ground. If you see the fruit fall, pick it up, wash it. Don't go picking up fruit where the ants running around and there's a opening in it. Use your head. And be hygienic.
Okay, so washing of the fruits is important, regardless if you pick it straight from the tree, or if you get it anywhere else. But you must wash it. Dr. Rick, any particular guidance on washing fruits? I remember at that time when we had that show, there was a spike in lepto cases, and we were speaking specifically about preventative measures. When you're washing the produce, plain water is okay. People spoke about vinegar. What is the
vinegar.
ideal?
If you're having any concerns, use vinegar.
Okay.
You can really, because you got to be careful. I mean, most people I know are fastidious. Every house I go into, the people are washing everything. I know with my wife, she rinses it all with vinegar and water and all that stuff. And when we have a spike in lepto, it's because people are careless. It's not the people that are cleaning their fruit that are getting sick.
Okay.
Okay, so Doc, I have a question. So with the different diseases that animals carry, is it possible for any type of the disease to be treated at home, or must it be medically treated or medication from you? Is there anything over the counter? I know we spoke about the dewormers. We have clarified that. But in terms of the symptoms or whatever type of disease,
go to your vet here. Come on, people.
We are trying to clarify because, many people have this concern. And although we spoke about the dewormers, I mean, there are many other diseases that animals carry. So just to clarify that it is important that every single disease that they get, that they need to be treated properly from a vet.
Yeah, you need to go to your vet because, the animals are not hygienic like we are. Many people don't have worms. A lot of people do. A lot of people need to take worm medicine just like the animals do. But just to give a dog guava, for example, if it has diarrhea, the diarrhea may be because the animal's full of worms. So that's not going to help it. So you got to go to your vets. Let them take a stool sample, see what the problem is. Don't just treat it because that's the way you've always done it. That doesn't work anymore.
Okay.
Okay.
So the importance of veterinary care, I think, Dr. Rick has emphasized that a lot for the program. Dr. Rick, there's something I wanted to ask about. It has come up recently, and it's not a very well, at least for me, not a much talked about disease. It's toxoplasmosis. I've heard about it in relation to cats, and I have heard about some transmission possibility to humans and some impacts to eyes, to pregnant women. So I want some clarification on the toxoplasmosis and cat connection and how does that relate to human beings as well. I've heard some discussion recently on
The
that.
first thing I tell you is just look it up, read about it, understand that if you're a woman and you're pregnant and you have cats, you're at risk.
Okay.
Whether you have cat boxes in the house
Mhm.
and you're cleaning up the cat boxes with gloves or whatever, you're putting yourself at risk. So the best thing to do is to read about it, understand what it's about, and go from there. Because it's a shame. People just take it for granted. You can't. This is the problem with having pets in the house.
Mm.
And even if the cats are outside, picking them up, petting them, they lick themselves. So, you got to be really careful.
Okay. So we
So-
say, go ahead.
You mentioned cleaning with gloves, but what I was also reading is even though you clean with gloves, you still have to wash your hands after.
Yeah, I mean,
So the gloves alone will not serve.
if I had I had a wife that was pregnant, I wouldn't have cats around. Period. It's dangerous.
Mhm.
But people are, they're gonna have a fit. Oh, my cats, I love them. My babies, they sleep with me. Good. And then you wonder why you have problems with your pregnancy. So you have to get checked. Your
Mhm.
cat needs to be checked if you insist on keeping a cat around.
Right, so that means they need to be again properly vaccinated, dewormed, and so if those are up to date, are you saying that it is okay or
Nope.
less of a risk?
Nope. The cats need to be tested.
Okay.
And toxoplasmosis is not, it's parasitic, right? I believe so. So the vaccination, I guess, would not be for that, well, for that particular thing.
Mhm.
I know, Dr. Rick, you mentioned the risk for the pregnant women. That is high, but is everybody, even if
risk?
they're not pregnant, at risk if the cat, for instance, has toxoplasmosis? I know of the high risk to pregnant
Yes.
women, but I'm
Mhm.
just not sure if everybody is at risk. Yeah. So okay. So Dr. Rick, well, our listeners need to hear. Dr. Rick was just showing me something, but our listeners need to hear.
No, it's just as I said before.
Mhm.
Pregnant women have to be careful, and
Okay.
it's a disease, and it causes neurological signs. That you got to be really careful, and you have to test for it. If it gets in the lymph nodes, you can look it up in Wikipedia, and they'll read it. It's very, very clear. And the problem is that you can have muscle problems, lymph node problems, all kinds of problems that are general that other diseases act the same way. So
Okay.
that's the problem. So
Very kind of.
you have to be really careful.
Okay. Okay, so for the cat owners, that's something that you should look into, and of course practice caution as the vet has
And
advised.
remember, it's transmitted through cat feces.
Okay. So those litter boxes that you have.
I don't have a litter box. I have animals outside.
Okay. Okay. I see someone asking from our online audience about the dogs and cats that are on the street, no owners, about them being infected. Who takes care of that aspect? So
Nobody.
So our animals that are on the street. And we do have a problem
Quite a number.
with that. We do have a problem with that. So a lot of animals, stray animals, running around, and of course, nobody.
Okay, we have two issues.
Hmm.
We have the animals that are out there that people are feeding that think that they're doing the animals a favor by giving them food, but they don't take ownership. That means they're not vaccinating them, they're not deworming them, they're not taking care of fleas and ticks. So they're propagating all of that stuff. Plus, the animals are not spayed and neutered because nobody's taking ownership. So more and more are coming. So the more you feed them, the more we're going to have. Then you have people that take care of the animals but let them run loose. So they're mixing with these animals, these strays. So that's another issue. And then if the animals do something wrong or get, or hit a car hits them, or then the people say, "Oh, it's not mine." So it's all about ownership, taking responsibility. And we have village councils and city councils all over. We're right now starting a village council in Bells, and I'm the chairman. And that's where you have to start, with the village councils, with local government, in organizing what you can do with stray animals. We have such a problem in Bells with people coming from all over the place and dumping animals, cats and dogs in Bells, and I've been doing it for years. So, and then when people poison them to get rid of them, everybody's upset. So we have to have guidelines. We have to have ownership. We have to get local government involved on a daily basis to deal with strays. Not just say, "Oh, the government has to come pick that up." We don't have a shelter.
Mm-hmm. And Dr. Ege, do you think that would, I mean, because you've been in Dominica for a long time, do you think an animal shelter would work here? No. Why not?
Why not?
Because people won't support it.
Okay.
They think it's yes. Just listen to me. The animals have to go somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So when they go in that shelter, nobody wants to adopt them because the mindset, the mentality hasn't changed.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the United States or in Europe or Canada, when they had COVID, people went around and adopted everything they could find because you have that mentality, But here, here it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to feel uncomfortable. They don't want to talk about it. Well, you have to change the mentality before something like that can work.
Mm.
If you go around and collect 400 animals and put them in a shelter, who's going to feed them? Who's going to deworm them? Who's going to do vaccinations? Who's going to walk them? Who's going to clean up their feces? Where's the money going to come from?
Mm.
You think it's going to come from donations? I don't.
Okay, so you have low
expectations
that an animal shelter could work here. Of course, unless there was a major shift in mindset. That's what you essentially saying. But yeah, we do know that in developed countries, animal shelters are present and people do adopt pets. And as a matter of fact, people are encouraged to adopt an animal from a shelter rather than from breeders that are breeding animals. People are encouraged. But in Dominica, we don't have that tradition. Dr. Rick says it won't work. I don't know if far into the future the mindsets might change, Dr. Rick. We don't know. We don't know what would happen.
Not right now.
Not right now.
You're going to have to bring a lot of diaspora back from all over the world, and maybe with the new airport and the tram, that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And if that happens and you get 20, 30,000 people coming in that have that mindset, sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll work in a minute. I'll be the first one saying there, let's go. But you have to have volunteers.
Okay.
You have to have volunteers.
We have a call coming in. Let's take this call. Caller. Good morning. Good morning.
Hello, Trudy.
Mm-hmm.
Me again. I want to ask Dr. Rick a question. I don't know if it's a strange question or if he can answer. How often, Dr. Rick, should you feed an animal? Some people say once a day, 3 times a day. And how long can a dog remain being unfed? How many days can a dog stay without you feeding that dog? Thank you.
In the wild, dogs and cats gorge themselves. And when they eat, and they eat a large amount of food, and they're good for a couple of days. But with human intervention, we think that they have to eat 3 times a day. So feeding them once a day and putting food down for 5 or 10 minutes and then taking it up is sufficient. But a lot of people, don't believe in that because they have to eat 3 times a day. So they think everybody, all animals, everything needs to eat 2 or 3 times a day. Now, water, yes, you have to have access to water all the time and clean water, not water that's growing mosquitoes.
No.
Okay, so access to fresh water once a day is fine. And don't leave the food. Dr. Rick, I know you've advised that in the past for my dog when I had a dog, the removal of the food after a period of time. So not just leaving it there for the day.
Overnight.
If the dog doesn't eat it, to just leave it there. So
You're leaving it there for the rats.
Mhm.
They love it. They love you.
Yeah, so for the caller, the answer is once a day is fine, and you can remove the food after, how long, Dr. Rick? Like 5 to 10
5
minutes?
10 minutes, that's it.
Yeah,
You
okay.
pick up the food and you put it away. Don't leave food down because you're going to attract ants. You're going to attract mice, rats, everything you can imagine.
Okay, so Doc, speaking on the general health of animals, you mentioned a few times about neutering your dogs or your cats. Tell us a little more about the importance. When is it necessary? Is it necessary for your pets, and why? Why is it important?
Dogs and cats should be neutered, spayed, whatever you want to call it, sterilized, because in the wild, they fight. Males fight for females. So male dogs or male cats are going to live a few years intact if they're loose because they're fighting all the time. What does fighting do? It brings wounds, brings infection, brings disease.
But what about those like us, who have pets at home? They're not out in the wild. They are caged our homes, fenced, gated, and they are not running around in the wild. Is it still necessary to do so?
Because the females are going to get mammary tumors and the males are going to have prostate issues. Promise.
But do you give them a chance to procreate first before?
That's your choice. That's not my choice.
Health wise, is it okay to have them procreate before neutering them?
Sure.
Okay, because sometimes in different countries that's a big thing. You breed in different different animals, crossbreeds, just to sell or so forth. So I know people are concerned. I want my pets to bring money in, rather than neutering them.
No,
Well,
they don't. They don't know the background of their animals, and all this crossbreeding is horrible because we have some giant dogs here that are dangerous. You take the Corsicano and pit bulls and Rottweilers, you cross them all up, you end up with a monster.
Okay.
Well, yes. Dr. Rick, we've been talking quite a bit about pets, cats, dogs. I want to veer into a bit of the livestock. Livestock farmers, of course, interact with animals that are not dogs and cats. We're talking about our livestock, and also our poultry farmers as well, who interact with poultry. What is there or are there any concerns disease-wise about poultry? That's one. And about livestock, so our cows and our goats and whatever else that people rear, animals that people rear. Are there diseases that are commonly spread from poultry or from some of those livestock examples to the farmers?
Generally, here in Dominica, we've been so isolated, and any animals that are brought in are quarantined and so forth before they come, and they're tested for a group of diseases. So we don't have the issues here in Dominica right now that we have in the States and other places because our population is isolated.
Okay.
The reason we it's different with dogs and cats is because people travel with their dogs and cats,
Okay.
and and they have them close to them.
Okay.
But of course, when you're working with goats and sheep and cows, you want to clean yourself because bacteria is bacteria. You can get infections if you have open things. There's a caseous lymphadenitis, which is a disease of the lymph nodes, which causes abscesses in sheep and goats and pigs, and that is contagious to humans. You have to wear gloves or whether that's why it's very important to call your veterinarian, because you don't know what you're doing. And specifically with pigs, pigs are monogastric, like dogs and cats and humans. They have the same roundworms as we have, the intestinal worms. You must be careful around pigs.
Okay.
Very careful around pigs, as far as all kinds of complications. But most of it is hygiene. Just keep it clean.
I know.
Oh, one thing, poultry. One of the problems with poultry is when you're cleaning up the poultry, if rats have gotten into the area where the chickens are, and have urinated, and you're cleaning up the chicken litter, you can get lepto from that.
Okay, so cleaning up of the poultry, of the cage and so on, and the risk of rats. Rats, of course. I mean, I had a very interesting case recently. Rats are known to want to eat chicks, I guess, or chickens.
The rats are scavengers.
Yeah.
So are manikou. They will,
and snakes. I had a case where quite a few baby chicks, that were purchased were disappeared, and the question was what animal could have possibly gotten into the cage, and disappeared the animals, or whether it was a human disappearance. We don't know, but in terms of cleaning, we're saying that the rats could have been, if you're doing poultry farming, you need to look out for the way that you clean because of the possible exposure to rat urine in that cage. Yeah. Okay.
But even making sure that the way we dispose of our garbage and consistently and properly getting rid of our garbage around our homes is important, because you throw away all types of food items and other types of options for rice and mice and other, even cats, stray cats and dogs, to come to. So I think hygiene and cleanliness around our living space is important.
Yeah, we could do a whole show on garbage. I mean, we need to pick up cars and trucks all over the island. They're full of rats.
Well,
they're full of rats.
Homes to them.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I mean, if you go around and would pick up all the junk cars and trucks on the island, your rat population would go down. And if you see snakes around, don't kill them, because the snakes mean that there are rats and mice around. If you don't see snakes, you don't have rats and mice. They only come when the rats and mice are there.
I remember you said that on our last program.
Nobody wants to believe it.
And everybody was shocked about that snake
snakes are good
correlation. Yeah.
Snakes are good.
Because a lot of people hate snakes.
Yeah, let me tell a little story. They say they hate snakes, but they'll kill it and sell the oil for $200. So how much do you hate snakes? Don't give me that nonsense.
Yeah, so we're here on Health Vibes. Dr. Rick, veterinarian, is our guest, and of course we're discussing how animals can possibly transmit diseases to us humans and how do we safeguard ourselves. Right. We're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll re-enter the discussion and give you a chance, of course, to interact with Dr. Rick. We will be right back.
Let me sing. I had intentions to call it sick, but I end up in Jolly's pharmacy. And don't think I treat Jolly's fix some my immune system. Me feeling fit and strong now. I'm ready to work on any mission. If you see me forget, Jolly's pharmacy is number one. Jolly's forget. We cater for everyone. Jolly's forget. The immune system. Jolly's forget. Yo, Dominic is the boy part of box. Whenever I'm in town and I'm feeling down, I head to Johnny's Pharmacy. They boost me up real quick. Johnny's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
Oh, I need the play. convenience make a big difference, then you can trust me. I know just where you should be. That is JP Mega, 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 Mega. The one-stop shopping on me, nigga, 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 nigga. You could be shopping and having fun. With your daughter, with your son. Cater to everyone. What a happy place, happy place. Oh, JP Mega, 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 Mega. The one-stop shopping on me, nigga, 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 nigga. You could be shopping and having fun. For Cater to everyone. What a happy place, happy place. Oh, what a happy place. But just click some more any item and you automatically qualify for discounts. Check us out at the Mega Store in Fongolia where there's lots of parking on Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. JP Mega, the best family shopping experience.
Jolly's Pharmacy is bringing vibes to health with Health Vibes. Health Vibes. Each and every Wednesday from 10 to 11:30 a.m. with your hosts Trudy Kristen and co-hosts pharmacists Jacinta Fagan and Leona Jeremiah. Education, information, and a bit of humor, and not forgetting lots of vibes. Jolly's Pharmacy is bringing health and vibes together with Health Vibes. So be sure to tune in each and every Wednesday on Q95 from 10 to 11:30 a.m. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare. Jolly's Pharmacy is bringing vibes to health with Health Vibes. Health Vibes. Each and every Wednesday from 10 to 11:30 a.m. with your hosts Trudy Kristen and co-host pharmacists Jacinta Fagan and Leona Jeremiah. Education, information, and a bit of humor, and not forgetting lots of vibes. Jolly's Pharmacy is bringing health and vibes together with Health Vibes. So be sure to tune in each and every Wednesday on Q95 from 10 to 11:30 a.m. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare. Introducing Jolly's Pharmacy, brand new website, www.jollies.gm. It's your time to jump the line. Shop now at jollies.gm and have your items delivered in the comfort of your office. No more standing in line. No need to use your lunch hour to shop. Hassle-free shopping, safe and secure. Jollies.gm features rush delivery, 1 hour. In-store pickup, regular delivery, 5 p.m. Cut-off time, 4 p.m. It's your time to jump the line. Visit us at www.jollies.gm. Jollies Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
So fun.
And we are back with you here on the program. Of course, you tuned into Health Vibes, and we are in studio with Dr. Rick discussing everything animal and disease related and how we are impacted. I know, Jacinta, you had a question for Dr. Rick as we continue the program.
Yes, so we spoke about leptospirosis. Another deadly disease is rabies. How prevalent is it here in Dominica? Is it?
Okay. The only concern we have is that animals that are brought in are properly vaccinated, and we pull blood and run titers on animals to show that they've been vaccinated, because we do not have rabies, but the threat is always there.
Right.
So we have to be really careful with the animals that come in on boats, with the animals that come in on planes, because a lot of people have little dogs and cats in their baskets or whatever, and they never leave their sight, but they have to be vaccinated.
And vice versa, if we were to travel with our pets, they would also have to be vaccinated.
That's
before
correct.
leaving.
Unless you're going to England or somewhere like that, another place that's rabies free.
Right.
Australia,
Okay.
But so we have a lab in Kansas that we send the titers off to, send blood samples after we vaccinated the animal 30 days later. So that we do that. We can do that here, or they can do it in the States or in the French islands. They do it, Europe and so forth. We have that, because any animals coming from a country that's not rabies free have got to be. They have to show that they have titers and they've been vaccinated.
Okay. Thank you.
And Dr. Rick, we've heard about there've been pandemic, well, not pandemics, I lie, outbreaks of certain things in the past, like avian flu or bird flu.
Not here.
Okay. We've heard of there was a time where mad cow disease was
Not here.
was trending. Okay. So I'm just, listing these. Producer is laughing. I'm just listing these, things that we've heard about that have caused a stir in the world before.
Put your mind somewhere else.
So we're not concerned about avian flu. We're not concerned about mad cow disease. I haven't heard about those things for a while,
Recently,
but
right?
yes, but there have been outbreaks or epidemics of those things. But Dr. Rick, you have an interesting farm in Bells that I want you to tell us about, because from when we were speaking on the break, you have quite a bit of interesting things going on in Bells. So for the people not from Bells or who have not been to Bells, have not seen what Dr. Rick has going on, Dr. Rick, you need to let our audience know
Okay.
what you have going on in
Are
Bells.
you ready?
Yes.
Okay. All right. It's called Hidden Gem Garden.
Mhm.
And there's a sign out front. We're right before the school coming from Rousseau. And everybody's welcome. We have a couple acres of flowers, plus some medicinal herbs like bush tea.
Mhm.
We have a gazebo. We have a guest house. We have a greenhouse. And we also have tortoises, the tortoise.
Mhm.
And then we raise goats.
Okay.
Now, Dr. Rick loves goats.
Hey.
Yeah. And I have the big South African boar goats. They weigh around 200 pounds. So I have females that are half boar and half dairy, and have males, purebred boar that I brought over from Martinique. So they get 150, 200 pound females and 200 pound males.
Wow.
The bigger the goats, the gentler they are. These are not little gaddiwas things jumping all over the place. They act like dogs.
Yeah.
They stand there and, what do you want us to do? So they're very easy to handle. Because a lot of people want to come out and have retreats. We have a bassin in the river about 6 feet deep, a natural swimming pool that you can swim laps and so forth in. But it's also very safe because it's a basin or a bassin, and for children that don't know how to swim. So I teach some of the school children come in the afternoon after school, and I teach them swimming. And then they have to do their homework too.
Mhm.
So we're putting sports and farm and music and art back into the Bells Primary School. We have a wonderful new principal since the end of last year, Hanel Jackson from Castlebrook. She's fantastic, and we see a big change already. And the 60 some odd kids that are there. We have a drumming squad now, and what we're doing is we're trying to set up a model situation. And I mentioned school because I think the children are important. So we have our farm, which is a walking distance from the school, so they can come down. People can also stop by if they want flowers, if they want to see the animals. Sometimes they want to buy a goat because they raise goats or whatever.
Mhm.
But then we have a greenhouse that's 20 by 40, and we've cleaned out now. We're going to grow cannabis
Mhm.
because the prime minister said, and I quote, "Grow all the cannabis you want now, just no illegal firearms." And that's what we're up to. And we're going to be legalizing it. The paperwork is ready. So we're having that too. And I'm very
Okay.
excited about it because I'm interested in medical cannabis.
Medical
I
cannabis.
drink
Mhm.
my marijuana drink every morning.
Mhm.
I take the lower leaves of the cannabis and I blend it with cold water because you don't get high when it's cold.
Mm.
And I drink it. What does it do? It boosts your immune system. So I'm not talking about THC right now.
Mm.
So I use in animals too. So all these animals that get sick, they get some cannabis in their mouth as well. Lower leaves, not the buds, lower leaves, blended with water and cold. So that's one of our medicinal herb situations.
Okay.
Because
Wow.
cannabis is a plant, people.
It
Okay,
is.
so you give it so the animals can benefit as well
Absolutely.
from the medicinal
Absolutely. I
properties.
had a couple of Rottweilers come in last year that had been suffering probably from a virus or something, and I treated them for that, and they also got cannabis.
Mm.
They do well. And I was paralyzed a year ago, and I have not been sick at all since. And got my feet back. My left arm is coming back. I can wave now. I can clap. You know. So
But
that's a whole nother. We're going to do another. We're going to do a. We're going to do a whole prayer. But people are welcome to come because I want to show them. We also have a farm up on the mountain. We have 200 lemon trees, 200 cocoa trees, coconuts, dasheen, yams, sour sop, everything. And we want to show people what they can have on a farm, and they can go ahead and pick and choose whether they want to have flowers or lemons. I also have honey. Also sell honey. We have
You do
bees.
honey. Okay.
Oh, yeah, very important. We have a fantastic bee association in Dominica.
Yeah, it's
I
very,
can't say enough good things about Nathaniel and Terry and the whole bunch. They're doing a fantastic job. I don't have to worry about them. They got it going. They know what they're doing. And I hope they're setting, that's a good example for all the other cooperatives on the island.
Yeah. The honey. It's really they're really visible in terms of the honey production.
yes.
And I see that really becoming a big thing here. I see we're getting a call. Let's take this call. Caller, good morning.
Truly, my last call. Only things Dr. Rick mentioned, they like honey, flowers, and so on. Are these things for sale now, Dr. Rick? Do you say?
Yep.
So, what's your number? How can we get if you're interested?
Oh, I forgot to give everybody my number.
Okay.
245 2181.
And you have to make an appointment or what are we?
We love it when people call ahead because it's much
And
easier.
where you live, Dr. Rick?
We live in Bells,
There.
and it's called Hidden, HIDDEN,
HI.
Hidden,
Mm-hmm.
Gem, GEM,
Uh-huh.
Garden, GARDEN.
Okay, thank you very much.
And you find a lot Google Map.
Okay, thanks.
And we're by the school.
Yes. So for our listeners who want to reach out to Dr. Rick, of course, he's mentioned all the different things at Hidden Gem Garden that he does. 245-2181 is the number, and he's open to people visiting or students or young people too. I think Dr. Rick, I have at the State College we do a summer camp, and it would be wonderful.
I've offered every year. I haven't heard a word from the.
It would be wonderful.
I teach swimming. Many of our children don't know how to swim. That's very dangerous.
Yes. So we need to keep that contact 245-2181 for Hidden Gem Garden to see if people can make an arrangement to come out to Bells. Bells is known for good dasheen. That's what people always used to say. So your
swamp dasheen.
Yes.
It's blue.
So I expect that your farm has some good dasheen, Dr. Rick.
We got a swamp.
All right. I wanted to bring up a point, Doc. Many times in terms of herbal medication and dosing, I am very passionate about individuals using the proper dose. So when you mentioned about using the leaves of marijuana and blending it and whatnot, we don't want our listeners to just go out there and start blending numerous leaves in concoctions for the animals if they see them sick. So I really want to stress on the point that it is important to do it properly and know the proper dosing, and still visit your vet. They will know, and Dr. Rick is right here. So if you contact him, he will guide you, or you will just go to him with your animal who is sick, and he will see whether it is appropriate for their condition. So do not go out there because you see your dog throwing up or some type of skin condition and feel it's okay to just blend marijuana in any proportion.
Cannabis.
And also to that, I'll add to that, my wife is Kalinago, and she learned a lot of the bush tea medicine from her mother and her family. So we use that with conventional medicine. Mm-hmm. We combine it and want people to understand that.
Right.
No way do I tell people not to use leaf of life, or I can't even pronounce the words in the patois. Right. They have so much shit. They have so many names. And, we have those things. They're available. Hopefully we'll standardize things more in the future.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Wonderful.
Yes. So it Dr. Rick, it was It was so great, to have you on the program as we wrap up. I don't know if any of our listeners want this last chance, last call. It's the last call as we're wrapping up. We just have a few more minutes for you to interact with Dr. Rick here on Health Vibes. But Dr. Rick has promised that he would like to come back anytime that
Every week.
Yeah.
And see my face.
So we'll be hearing from Dr. Rick again. But of course, if there are any questions, concerns with your animals, your pets, or whether you're a farmer, your livestock, your poultry, Dr. Rick has emphasized on this program that seeking the vet's intervention is critical. So I hope that at least this is a takeaway for people who would have been listening to us on the program, that you need to go to the vet for the treatment of your animals and any diseases that they might be showing symptoms of.
I also want to ask you quickly, Doc, besides the regular vaccination and deworming, how frequently should your pets be just go in for a general medical
Twice a year.
examination? Twice a year.
For sure. And the animals need to be dewormed sometimes once a month. It just depends on what kind of contact they have with the parasites. And you work with your veterinarians. We have 2 veterinary clinics, Dr. Paul and Dr. George, and we have McIntyre's. The clinics are all open 6 days a week. If you can't reach your veterinarian, call me. That's what I tell people. I do emergencies. So 24 hours a day, weekends, everything. Fine, that's me. I don't expect the other vets that work during the week to do emergencies unless they want to. So if you don't get a hold of somebody, call me. Even if you don't use me, call me so I can help you. Because I can get to those other veterinarians.
Okay.
And I can
That's nice.
It's very important because more and more animals on the islands, more and more people are coming. And we have to get organized. We're putting in an airport that's going to bring thousands and thousands of people here. And with that come animals.
Of course.
Because people travel with their pets.
Yeah.
And even more so, just like us humans, animals have skin conditions, eye conditions, air conditions, and very frequently, again, people come in to look for soaps or creams to treat and so forth. So having their regular vet evaluations on a yearly basis will help to detect conditions that can be treated properly.
We have a caller. Let's take this call. Caller, you're the last call for the program. Good morning.
Good morning. I just want to thank you all and thank Dr. Rick for all the information that he's given, because I'm a dog lover. I have many dogs, and Dr. Rick is my doctor for my animals, and he's very, very punctual. He's reliable. Somebody can trust on him. As soon as you call him, he comes. And this is from Cecilia. He knows me.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Cecilia. Thank you.
Right.
Welcome.
Yes. So if you would like to reach Dr. Rick, and he did say he does emergency calls, and I can vouch for that as well. Sometimes animals like to, just like human beings, get sick on a holiday or at some. So Dr. Rick is there for the emergency.
No, that's what happens most of the time. Most of the time is at night or on the weekends or holidays. Because things are going on. People don't understand the energy levels. That's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah, so Dr. Rick can be reached 245-2181. I see somebody asked for the phone number again. So just to repeat, Dr. Rick's contact is 245-2181. We are at the end of our time. Let me just take this last call really quickly. And caller, good morning.
Give a person their flowers while they're alive, not when they're dead. Ladies, take care of yourself. I wish all you all the best. And the doctors are there. I tell you, welcome. It's a pleasure having you. Keep on talking, keep on preaching, and keep up the good work. May God bless You are rich and rich for the star. Never give up. Up I gone. Boom, 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 boom.
Thank you, Marlene. So that's the end of the program today. We've been on with you on Jolly's Health Vibes as we typically are on a Wednesday. And you can look forward to us being back with you, if it's God's will, next week, Wednesday, for another program where health meets vibes. So until next week, I'd like to wish everyone a fabulous week, a great week, a healthy week, and of course, a happy independence. And celebrate in your own way, but make sure you're healthy and safe.
Right.
Whilst you do so, we'll be back with you next week. We hope to be back. So take care and goodbye.
Jolly's Pharmacy is bringing vibes to health with health vibes. Health vibes. Each and every